Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 23 of Top Bin Talks, presented by FTF Canada. I am one of your co-hosts, Adam Jones, joined as always by Kwame Awua. As you can see, it's in the dead of summer. Kwame's got AC with a hoodie on, and I am sweating buckets.
Hey man, one of us got AC, the other one doesn't. So you can just make a guess on who got AC and who doesn't. Which one is which?
I'm gonna be surprised if you can't see the glisten off my nose by the end of this. Oh my god, Jesus Christ! All right, man. Hey, let's jump right into it. Last week we hopped off with we only did Canadian national team stuff for the summer. Obviously, it's a hugely massive, busy summer for that, and now we're gonna touch on everything else that's been going on, and there's been a shit ton.
Shit ton. Let's move our way across the world. We're gonna start in Saudi Arabia, going from east to west this time. We're gonna go Saudi Arabia. These motherfuckers, these oil money prince dudes with the Lamborghinis, with cop car Lamborghinis, are buying up all the superstars, or the latent superstars in the world. Started from offering Kylian Mbappe a $1 billion deal for 1 year, which he rejected. Well done, Kylian. But now we obviously had the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo starting the movement. And now you have Sadio Mane, who has gone from Bayern Munich to El Nassr. You have Ruben Neves. You have Malcolm Oliveira. You have, bro. There's a lot of guys that are going. You have
Jordan
Mendy,
Henderson,
Conte,
Neymar,
Neymar, Mahrez,
Riyad Mahrez, another one, man. It's
Firmino, Fabinho. Yeah, man. These guys. To be fair, yeah, they're getting those guys at the end of their careers, but those guys are still got a lot that they can offer to a team. I think most of it is because of wages. If a team in Saudi is going to offer you about 30 million plus, 40 million plus a year, and Barcelona is going to offer you what, 2 mil, 3 mil a year, like, and you're at the later stages of your career, I understand you collecting a check for your generations to come. I like the fact that they didn't all go to the same team at least. So at least build some parity. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's because the primary owner of most of them, he owns like 5 teams.
Yeah, but still, at least it keeps it a little competitive. Like you can see, like for those guys, it'll be nice. Those guys get to see Benzema versus Ronaldo. Like, you know what I mean? Or it's like Ronaldo and Sadio Mane versus like Benzema, Conte, and then you have Riyad Mahrez, Firmino. Like, you know what I mean? So it kind of mixes it up. Neymar went to the same team as Firmino, Al Hilal, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That contract, by the way, is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo's is the best contract there, but like his contract is but they got him. They still got Neymar. 31. We can talk about Neymar as much as possible, but I saw something the other day and I was gonna send it to you. We've been hyping about Mbappe and Erling Haaland because of what they've been doing for their respective teams. But obviously the past couple of years, Neymar with his injuries and stuff like that, like a lot of people and obviously the drama that has come with him, maybe not to his fault, but maybe his entourage or whatever. Neymar at the same age as them was in the Ballon d'Or shortlist 6 times, Champions League treble winner, Puskas winner, top 3 for Ballon d'Or. Like, yo, fam, like people are forgetting Confederations Cup, Olympic gold medalist. I'm like, yo, people are forgetting about like who Neymar really is. So like I be seeing pages, I be seeing pundits and all that stuff saying, yo, Neymar this, Neymar that. I'm like, bro, he played 173 games for PSG and had over 173 goal contributions. You can't. Regardless of, of course, he went to a Champions League final with PSG as well. Regardless of what you want to say about the man, every time he did play, he was that guy. If Messi and Ronaldo wasn't on the field, bro, he was that guy. I still remember what he did to Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. Yeah, they lost by 1 goal, but that year, obviously the COVID year, that man was determined. I haven't seen him that determined since he was at Barcelona when he shaved his head. So I give him all the credit. I understand his contract is crazy, and it's for what, 2 years? He'll be 33. He's gonna come to the MLS after that, and he's gonna chill out. Like it's too much of an offer to to shut down. But Saudi Arabia, I don't think because of there's like it's part of the only salary cap league, I guess, is MLS. Because of how much money they got in those ends, this shit gonna take off, bro. It's gonna take off. It's gonna become a top 5 league ASAP. It's just gonna be tough because of the time change. Like it's gonna be tough for other people to watch the games, but they're gonna make it work.
I don't think it will be a top 5 league. I don't think it will. I don't think that this will. And the reason why I say is I don't think this model is completely sustainable. I don't. And again, like they're banking on. And I guess it kind of goes back to like, what are they trying to do? This is an incredible decision for their own youth system now, because now you have these young players now who are going to come up, who are going to grow up there and have these idols to look up to and actually get to go play with. So from their own national team perspective, this could be incredible.
Yep.
But if they go away from that, you're now killing your own national team because now your players aren't making it through. And it's not a big enough country to build that many teams. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna like.
How many people does Saudi Arabia have? That's what it matters because
it does.
It matters because like there's obviously countries that have leagues that don't have that many people, but like there's still historic. It's not okay.
Difference is like,
but
they have 34 million people. 34
same as
million.
Canada. Almost, I guess.
Yeah.
But their sport is primarily soccer, so they don't have to worry about any other competition in sports. You know what I mean? They don't have to worry about the geographical disadvantages because Saudi Arabia is not a big country. They don't have to worry about the weather disadvantages. It's hot all the time. like the only thing that they probably are gonna have to worry about is the political and religious stuff, which is probably gonna be obviously, but unless the oil money run out, they're gonna have to find a balance where it's like you push your own countrymen through to better your national team, but also finding like it might have to come down to like how MLS did. Like MLS started with like superstars, and now you see them gear towards like mid-range stars, like a Carlos Hill. You know what I mean? Like they might have to, they're probably doing this now. How like MLS got Beckham, Donovan, all those guys just to get eyes on it, and then like little by little, I think they're gonna go down to like a Malcolm. You know what I mean? Like those kind of stars. So then they can still push their youth and all that stuff to make their national team better, but still playing with top talent, with good people, good players.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like that, I think that model would work for them because the amount of money they're going to pump in, but I don't think they'll ever be a top 5 league in the world. And again, part of it is
because
fans, like people travel around the world to go watch Man United, to go watch Chelsea, Liverpool, City now. Like people go there for vacations to go watch Premier League games. I don't think anyone's
they're not going to build the same. They're not going to build the same fan base as those big name teams that have been here for 100 years, like the Barca's and Madrids, the Man Uniteds, the Arsenals, like teams that have been here, like stapled in like all around the world, where you can go to like fucking Australia, find someone like, damn, you're a Man U fan. I don't know if you're gonna go to Vancouver and find like you're a Man U fan in Vancouver. I don't know if you're gonna find an Al Hilal fan.
No, and that's the thing. You're gonna find a Ronaldo fan. You're gonna find a Neymar fan. Like that's all it really is gonna be. And so like that's the part of it where again they're trying to create this culture. Like they're trying to recreate their culture is what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't blame them for trying to do it, but you are starting now. You're starting at 0 now. And they're trying to use money now to jump to 50 or 60, where you're like, no, you're still on like someone might buy the odd jersey.
Yeah.
But they're not going to become a fan of the team because of
they're going to be a fan of the players on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one though, I just realized who hasn't retired, Iniesta still playing. Wow, bro.
Machine.
My guy Andres Iniesta is still playing on the east side of the world, just enjoying life, bro. Wow, yo, I see him. I don't know if he signed for another Japanese team somewhere in Asia, but I was like, dog, you don't want to hang up the boots, bro. But like watching his highlights in Japan for Vitesse, whatever, it was a breeze for him. Like he was walking past dudes. I'm like, this guy can still move.
I
But
think
so
on the ball, he's right there. I think it's
yeah,
everything off the ball
everything
at
off the
this
ball.
point.
But if you have dudes that gonna run for you, it's kind of like, all right, yo, yeah, that's kind of cool. Talking about Iniesta, special shout out to David Silva who announced retirement before the start of this season. I always tell people like that Spain generation team, the fact that David Silva could start for that Spain team says a lot, and nobody really talks about it. Like he was the only man in the Premier League that was starting for that. Everybody else was Barca, Madrid, and he had David Silva, Manchester City. So for you to be a key player, a key starter in that team, not even playing out of position, playing right wing, bro, shout out to him. Magic. He changed the whole Manchester City. Pep built around him when he came, and guys like Phil Foden, guys that we watch now idolized him. So appreciate that. And now we move from Saudi Arabia. Do you have anything else to say about Saudi Arabia? You want to talk about Neymar's contract?
No, I don't think we need to spend any more time. That guy's made enough money in the last 3 seconds.
Now we go from Saudi Arabia, we go to Europe. And what is happening in Europe, sir?
It's the start of every league, man. It's the most exciting, and it's also the end of the transfer window. It's coming to the end, right? So we've got like the last little bit of transfer news coming through.
Only one is open in Spain, right?
Sorry?
Only the transfer window that's open is Spain, right?
England's still open. They're also open.
Till the end of August.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Damn, yeah. Everything has started. Any key transfers in Europe?
Couple.
Let's go from what's the worst transfer so far? What do you think is a team that got someone that they did not need?
The worst one. Ooh. That's a tough one because I feel like there's a lot of like I think like the worst sounding one so far to me has been like Tyler Adams going to Chelsea and then them cutting it the second Caicedo is available and Lavia. Like that's got to feel the worst. I feel bad for Tyler for that. Like like, oh my God, I'm off to Chelsea here. Like, oh my God, let's go. And then all of a sudden, like, cut.
Oh,
which is tough.
Business is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Because it was a very affordable deal. It was like 20 million.
Yeah.
And he did well in the Prem. But like, imagine you go from playing in the Prem, Leeds gets relegated, you go, and then you're like, damn, I get to go back to the Prem to like one of the giants. And then it's like, nah, you're playing championship football for the rest of the year. Like in wages terms, like that would have just doubled your wages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, damn, like, and I get to play for Chelsea. Like there's always opportunity to win a trophy. And he's a good player, bro. He's a good engine captain of the national team, played well in the World Cup. So it's tough, but he's not Moises Caicedo. So I totally understand. Yeah.
Yeah, or Lavia. Like they're both younger than him too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But
like there's levels, but like to see that he was even in those rumors is dope. It's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like that's really cool, right? Because obviously it comes off the back of Pulisic leaving as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
how do you feel about Harry Maguire staying at Manchester United?
I actually just feel bad for him. Like the guy needs a clean slate and a fresh start. However, if you're like, I ain't getting paid as high as I am here, why would I leave?
Who did that? Phil Jones did that for like years at Man United.
Probably.
He was just chilling on the 18. Times he come in like when it's like 5 minutes left, he'll just clear the shit out.
Even him, I feel bad for because they actually offered him like because he'd been at the club for so long. They're like, you actually technically get a testimonial, and he's like, he turned it down because he's like, who would come?
Yeah,
my parent, like, no, I don't want. He's like, I don't want that attention and stuff. I actually felt bad for him because he when he was younger, man, he was a fucking proper footballer, and he was a very good player for Man United. Yeah, just injuries derailed him, man.
He used to put his body on the line. I used to see the type of tackles and stuff man used to do. I was like, damn, this guy's he's a nut job. Christian Pulisic and Yunus Musa going to AC Milan. How do you feel about that?
The Pulisic one is weird because I don't know that they didn't get rid of Liao.
No.
Like, I don't know how much he's gonna play all the time.
Brahim Diaz did go back to Real Madrid though.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
So unless
but
they play Pulisic at the 10.
it's a thing, man. I don't know. Like, I actually don't know where he fits in that team. So that'll be interesting. But again, they've got Champions League, like they've got things to play for again this year, right?
Yeah.
Like they're trying to make that push. So squad rotation, things like that are gonna be way more important for them. So I can see why they tried to bring in more depth. Same with, with Musa going there. Again, I don't see him walking in and starting.
I honestly
Talking about a team that was in the
based on-
Champions League semifinal last year, who didn't. You're talking about a team that was in the Champions League semifinal last year.
Yeah.
That lost one player from that
Yeah.
team. Like,
Yeah.
that's where you're kind of sitting there going, like you now have to go win a spot against those guys.
That means the technical staff and the owners really believe in you. Honestly, I really like Musa.
Oh, I mean, the big one they lost was Tonali
Tonali,
went
yeah.
to Newcastle.
Tonali is at West Ham now, no? Or Aston Villa?
Newcastle.
Aston Villa. No, Newcastle. Well, he scored a goal this past weekend.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did.
He scored the opener. He scored a goal. Yeah. Another transfer, Ousmane Dembele to PSG from Barcelona. He had a clause in his contract.
He'll play 6 games this year.
Yeah.
Big deal. Like,
I don't know if that was obviously from inside sources. I know he was a big partier, but I don't know if him going back to Paris in his comfort zone, I don't know if it helps him or if it doesn't. We'll see. I mean, him and Mbappe on the wings, I know a lot of hamstrings on other teams are going to be busting up, but
those two only have like 2.5 between the two of them anyway. Dembele's dropping instantly.
Yeah.
So,
bro, but wingbacks are going to have a long day in the French league with them too, though, for sure. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Who else?
There's a lot. There's a lot, man. There's so many. We have Moise.
I'm just trying to think of like the guys that North American transfers, like people that are Canadian. Oh, shout out to Diadine Abzi, who he's on loan from Pau FC to CD Leganés in the Segunda division in Spain. That's a good move. I mean, that's his playing style, I would say. Happy for him. I thought he was a baller. Obviously, me and him used to go toe to toe, best wing back in CPL, and he's been doing well. But I was just thinking about one.
Right, you're missing like Declan Rice, Jurriën Timber.
Timber
just did his ACL.
I'm talking about the ones that went under the radar.
Onana to United.
He got chipped from half in his last preseason game.
Big deal.
I mean, bro, I'm not hating. Because if you play like that, it's bound to happen. Like, bro, no hate ever. Like, I understand. Trust me.
That is the way
I'm
he
a man
plays,
that likes to play expansive football. Don't worry. Like, if a man is 20 yards outside of his goal and you're a professional soccer player, you should be able to chip him from half. Like, it's calm, bro. So who else? So in Europe, we have had obviously the Community Shield. Arsenal beating Manchester City on penalties. We don't really hold weight to that. That don't really mean anything, as you know. Manchester City beat Sevilla today on penalties in the UEFA Super Cup. Another thing is, since we're talking about all these competitions, a lot of people have been, well, not a lot of people, Raphael Varane, the captain, has come out and said that there's too many competitions, too many games for the players, and it's causing a lot of injuries. I totally understand where he's coming from, to be fair. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like, everybody, I understand how much a human body can take, and games at that level is mentally and physically draining. But this is why squads are built the way they are, and it should be up to the manager to really manage the minutes of the guys and be able to put faith in guys that are on the bench to rotate the players to be able to still come up with some type of result. Don't get me wrong. Some of the, like in England, you're playing for four titles, which is wild. It's absolutely wild. Like, there's a lot of games, like Championship too. Like, you're playing 40-something games. Tuesday, Saturday. I understand. But at the same time, the guys that are playing at these high levels, at these big clubs, you have all the resources in the world, fam. All the damn resources in the world for you to stay healthy to a not 100%, because obviously shit happens in the season. Like you're gonna have knocks here and there, but dog, fam, you have like sleeping pods and stuff like that. I'm really not hearing it. I understand if you're like De Bruyne, who's played like 60 games, like you just playing continuously throughout the year and you only get 1-2 months off. I can understand that. Like that's wild. You know what I mean? Like Manchester City's going to the end of every competition, so your legs get burnt out. But like I said, it's up to the coach to do some rotation and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm kind of like in between.
And that's what Rodri said. Rodri's like, I can't play the same number of games I played last year. That's what he said. He came out and said it. Like, and don't get me wrong, I get it too. I get it too. I think like, I don't think it's the structure of having additional competition. I think it's the expansion of the competitions. Like we've expanded the Champions League. Now we want to create an actual league for the, and you're like, no, that's the last thing we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I think it's more stuff like that, right? Like, you know, the Europa League expanded again.
Mm-hmm.
And you have third place, like, and then beyond that, so the Europa League expands, so there's now more teams there. And then all the third place teams who used to walk right into the knockout stage, they don't have to play a play-in to start playing the like. There's all these little additions now that they're coming up with to just to create more fucking money is all it is.
And entertainment, yeah.
No, it's for UEFA. It's for UEFA to line their pocket. It's UEFA trying to line their pocket. It's not about players playing more games and earning more.
It's not like the players don't get any bonuses from it either. So like,
imagine. Sure, but I think at that point, I don't think they give a fuck about an extra game.
Money, yes, that's
like,
that's
they don't
that's
fucking care at that level.
That's why only the big name players are complaining about it, because they don't care about the money because they're already making enough money.
Yeah, but it's also the same. Those are the players who are playing all the games, though.
Yeah,
the other ones aren't. Like again, you talk about like championship. Yeah, like in England, it's different. There's a historical thing where they play fucking like 60 games a year. It's a fucking lot. Taper your fucking training sessions then.
That's what I mean. It's up to the coaches to find a way to go around it.
That's 1,000%. That's 1,000% part of it, right? But there is this other thing though, where UEFA, how many fucking competitions do they have internationally now? That they're all like before potentially international break, you have a knock, you step out. You have UEFA Nations League now. Everything wants to now, like how much qualifying they have to do. Like there's that side of it where I can also look at it's not even just for their club, it's also for country. And all of that, right? Like I can see where they're coming from. However,
bro, telling you, man,
would you trade this job for someone else's? Like, you know what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's pros and cons to everything. There always has been, there always will be. But I think when
prioritize competitions though. Like coaches and technical staff, everything can prioritize competitions. It's like, bro, look at Leagues Cup and the MLS. These guys, other than Inter Miami, who decided, obviously, Messi was going to talk about later, but like some guys, bro, they rotated their team heavily. Like shit happens, bro. It's like, all right, yo, like there's a prize money on the line.
Yeah, but that's the same thing though. I don't like saying fucking players, managers don't give a shit about prize money. They give a job about job security. So if you're a manager at a big club, you're fucking prioritizing yourself. You're not prioritizing fucking.
Yeah, but I'm saying welfare. Like if you're prioritizing yourself, but you also can have a conversation with ownership and stuff. Like, bro, like we only have 20.
That's the thing, though. That doesn't look at how many managers get fucking. They don't give a fuck. They care about fucking making more. Like this is the thing. When you have all these entities that have to be selfish, they do. They can choose not to. But they do. Like if you get relegated from the Prem, that's fucking hundreds of millions of pounds. You lose instantly. Not to mention you're on the hook for all the wages as well. That you're paying Premier League level wages in the championship now. Like there's a fucking lot of money. It's a compounding issue. But when you have governing bodies like FIFA, like UEFA, like the FA, who aren't prioritizing player safety and are only prioritizing themselves, it compounds everything even more. To now where the players are going, fuck this. I don't give a shit about the bonus for this game. I just want to fucking have a
Chill.
day off. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where it comes down to, when like the governing bodies that are supposed to be looking after the welfare for players, that are supposed to be regulating all, clearly aren't, when Saudi Arabia now are petitioning to get a spot in the Champions League. If UEFA want to hold power, they tell them to go fuck themselves. They're not going to, though, because that'll create more, like, you're instantly now there's that travel now involved for someone. They have to go to fucking Saudi Arabia. So like that's, I think, the side of it where the players are now just, I think it's beyond being fed up now of being like, fucking, they're lining their pockets and they're telling us you get paid to play a game. Fuck you. You're paying me to entertain you. Like, and I'm the reason why you're wealthy. So don't fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't tell me this when I'm the reason why you're doing so well and why you're making me play more games. It's because of me and what my colleagues are doing for you. So it's a weird one, man.
It's a tough, sticky situation. And when you mentioned the relegation and stuff like that, FA and losing money, I just remembered my homie Jack Harrison signed a brand new 5-year deal with Leeds. They get relegated, and now you're on the hook for Prem wages. And now he's on to Everton.
Yeah, he's got sold.
Yeah, man.
That's the thing. That's what those owners do, though, man. Like, you're like, fuck, and that was the whole thing. I don't know if you ever watched the Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix.
No, I haven't.
Dude, they're like Jack Rodwell. They signed to all this fucking money and they're getting relegated in League One. And they're like, Jack, we need you to leave and agree to be sold. And he went, no. Refused to be in the dock and went, no.
Damn. Because you can do that too.
You signed a fucking contract. You have to mutually agree to terminate it. Like that's the thing. Like that's what can end up happening, right? Like that's what I mean. Like, that's why owners can't always be like, oh no, well, he's trying to rotate. They're gonna go, no, fucking put your best 11 out there and win some goddamn fucking. Once you're safe, okay. You know what I mean? That's why managers get sacked all the time. It's ridiculous. When you're at big clubs like Chelsea and Liverpool and United and that, like, then it's like, you lost fucking 3 games. Why are you sacking a manager? Because he rotated. Like, those ones are different. But when you look at the majority of the Prem, like, I'm sorry, Brentford can't afford to not play their best 11. I don't care.
No, that's what I'm
talking
talking about the big teams. I'm talking about the big teams, because those are the big teams are the ones that are usually going to be deep into the competition.
But
you know what I mean?
Those are the teams who also have the majority of national team players, though, who they don't get a break in during those times either, when every other team can now taper for a couple weeks and relax and let guys recover from things. So that's the other flip side of it, is the biggest clubs and the wealthiest clubs have the players who play the most games during the year anyway. You know what I mean? So like, that's where again, it's
honestly, personally, I'm not trading it for anything, to be fair. It's like, damn, I gotta play these games. Fuck it. It's like, yo, I get to play for, let's say I'm Neymar, bro. Like, I get to play for PSG, Brazil, bro. Dog, captain, bro. All right, yo. I wanted this when I was a kid. This is everything I worked for. I didn't work for the extra games, but like, if I'm able enough, I'm gonna play.
I think that's where we get into something where, again, it's like, it would be like if some billionaire's son got in the record industry and started making music, and he goes, yeah, I don't really like how much money these record companies take from musicians. And you're like, hold on, like, you're fucking wealthy beyond compare, man. Like, it's one thing for like someone like, again, do you hear any of the people who grew up poor in Brazil complaining about the number of football matches they have to play right now? No. Do you hear any of the people who grew up really poor complaining about this?
No.
Of course not, right? Like, so again, it kind of comes from that too, where when you are exposed almost to more of the world, you sit there and you're like, yeah, I don't think this is right. Whereas other people are like, oh my God, give me anything to do that. I'd rather do that than this kind of thing. You know, it's just,
it's perspectives, bro. It's a lot of perspectives, for sure. Liverpool and Moses Caicedo, obviously.
What a fall from grace, by the way.
What a saga, bro.
This is how everyone should design their club. Everyone should follow the Liverpool model. They can't fucking get a single signing across the line now. They're
Crazy.
choosing
Oh,
Chelsea.
I forgot Jordan Henderson also went to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mentioned
Yeah.
that earlier.
Yeah.
By the way, do you see the promo video?
Nah.
Oh, well, trying to talk about how good of a leader he is, right? And everything. And he's the captain at Sunderland, all stuff. And they have all these like colorful images. Really soon, a black square appears in the middle where his armband would be.
Oh, because they don't promote that. Yeah.
You guys couldn't have picked any other pictures, like of the thousands and tens of thousands of pictures he
has with an armband on.
With an armband, you got.
Yo, man.
He wear it for like a month. I swear that's not a statement.
It's not. You could have got the one where he was holding the Champions League trophy at least.
Oh my god! Like it just killed. Where everyone was like,
yeah,
everyone knows what that's about.
Yeah.
Everyone can see it, and you guys you guys couldn't have found any other pictures, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, bro. Yeah, Chelsea get their man Moses Caicedo. Apparently, he's always been a Chelsea fan. He looked up to Makelele and Conte.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Makelele and Conte, because those two played in the same. I don't think he was alive when Makelele played. Fuck off with that. And if he was,
bro,
Makelele was at Real Madrid. He was at Real Madrid, if anything. When he watched Claude Makelele
you don't say anything, dog. You will say anything, dog.
Why don't you just say I like that? Well, there was. I mean, the one that I remember too, like John Obi Mikel was supposed to go to Man United. He was in Manchester, and Chelsea came in, and I remember his thing was like, I like London more than Manchester, and I was like, oh yeah, that's fair. You want to live somewhere like,
you'd
rather live in London than there, like whatever.
Yeah,
but it's a whole thing. Like I've always been a fan,
but like people are not going to be honest, bro. People are not going to be honest, dog.
That's what Let's be real. But that's one thing though. Like when I look at that though, like that automatically. I think like if football in general wants to take another step, you have to let these guys have a personality.
Bro, not with the FA on, not how the English media is, no chance. Like I would love for football to be like the NBA, like Draymond Green, Draymond Green, LeBron, all those guys be talking mad. They don't talk smack, but like they let their voices be heard, like, or else it's gonna come off.
But here's the thing, though. They're gonna write that shit anyway, though. They're gonna write here's the thing.
You might as well say what you want to say.
He said this. Someone is fucking digging up something to disprove it right now. They're gonna find. They will edit audio to disprove it. Sun will post that or something. Like fuck, they're gonna do it anyway. Just like when I look at like the NBA, when I look at the NHL now with what hockey's doing, where they're literally just going, guys, treat every interview like a podcast. Just don't swear, like do anything but swear, or like it's been phenomenal for the sports to see personalities and to see these things and to create this different type of buzz. Like that's the one thing, and again, and the reason
it doesn't happen with football though. We had this conversation. It doesn't happen with football.
It doesn't happen here, but even over there, it doesn't happen. And imagine
it doesn't happen in football in general, bro.
Seep over. I know. That's what I'm saying. If they started to do that, and these guys were just like, "Fuck this." No, I'm going for them. Where some people have been like, I'm going for the money. Like, and I'm gonna set my family up for life.
Yeah.
You would, and that was the thing. Like, I know that there's an interview with Gareth Southgate where they asked him, would you say that? And he goes, I can't answer that. And they go, why not? He goes, because I haven't got that contract in front of me. None of us, we can say whatever we want right now, but until you have that slit across to you to see the amount of money, and with your family behind you looking at going, fuck. For 2 years?
Like, yo, can y'all hold this for 2 years, 300 M's? Yo, my family would be saying, yeah, hell yeah.
But like, that's the thing though, until you have that, like, hypothetical, that's easy. Oh, I would never do this. I would never do that. Until you're put in that situation. Like, so that's the thing. Like I look at this and it's like if you can actually start to generate some personality and just have these guys just be like, fuck, the Sun's gonna write some bullshit anyway. Don't get me wrong. There's certain things I understand. Some of it you want to keep like there's certain
things you got to be
keep private. You have to keep private. Family stuff, obvious. There's so many things like that need to be kept private, kept quiet. But from a personality standpoint, my God, like Jack Grealish has been such a breath of fresh air. Such a breath of fresh air.
And I say, yeah, bro, I go out. He's like, what the hell?
The English media hammered him for going out after the treble because he had England duty. And he just went, I worked all year to win a treble. The first English team to do it since '99. Of course, I'm gonna celebrate.
Yeah.
Like, and then everyone went,
The man they were doing chant, they were giving him
fuck
chant. I
off.
think he was still hammered.
Yeah, like, but even that, like, that's part, like, it's so funny because you see so many fans and clubs who have that culture and personality. Like, I'll never forget Ronaldo coming back to Old Trafford for the first time. Runs out, they're singing his song, they're giving him a standing ovation, all this stuff. Like, and he, oh, look at this, he's back to Old Trafford with Real Madrid when he's playing against United, right? And he's playing against him for the first time. All this stuff. The whistle goes, they pass it to him right away, and they fucking booed him. The second he touched the ball, it went off. And he's looking around going, what they're just saying, but that was the thing. After the game, they're singing this. It's like during that 90 minutes, it's like that whole thing, right? Like, fans are allowed to do that. Everyone else is allowed to show personality, yet the players on the pitch aren't. That's one thing I look at. I'm like, Ronaldo's been Ronaldo from jump. Big deal. You don't fucking like it. Goddamn, deal with it. Fucking deal with it, man. Like, the guy is his mentality. Yes, he was giving God. He had God talent. No doubt about it. Not ever like the fallacy of anyone can work. If only everyone would work as hard as him. Fuck no. You're not 6'3" and can jump stupidly high and like
Can
have a
run
right and
super
left
fast.
foot. Rapid. Like, there's so many other things that are involved in it, but he had that mentality from day one, and that's why he is who he is. Fucking good on him for thinking he's the best. Why wouldn't you if you were him? If he didn't think that, he wouldn't have got to that level.
No chance. Yeah, bro. No, I totally understand. But as we were saying, like, there's so much that was going on in European football that, like, it's even hard to fathom. But at the end of the show, we will do our Premier League top 4 picks like we did last year.
Yeah.
Top four picks.
No one got Newcastle.
No one got Newcastle. Oh, man. But moving on, as we talk about Ronaldo, thinking the greatest ever, the player that I think is the greatest ever has moved to Inter Miami alongside his best friends from Barcelona. Lionel Messi goes to Inter Miami and has dragged them to a Leagues Cup final alongside everyone. Inter Miami, as if you guys know, are in last place in the MLS. Worst MLS record, but now they are playing for a Leagues Cup final against Nashville SC, which I think they should win. If it was Monterrey, maybe
they probably will.
They probably will win.
They'll win, man. Like,
and that's just another thing to add on to Busquets, Messi, and Jordi Alba's resume. But you can tell, like, just having them three there with Joseph Martinez has elevated everyone's game. Everyone from front to back playing a lot better. But I'll say, like, Busquets and Messi more than Jordi Alba. Those two are just scapegoats, though. We only have dudes that just don't lose the ball. It's like, all right, like, I can pass these guys the ball anytime, and, like, shit, 9 out of 10 times gonna go right. Then 1 out of 10 times they're gonna get fouled. So it's like, all right, like, and referees are also playing into their hands as well.
A little bit.
See, but it's all part of the show. It's obviously been like Messi mania, as they've been saying. I've been watching games. It's too easy for him.
It's too easy. Even yesterday, the goal. Andre.
To be fair, Andre Blake, and that's my homie. He didn't do.
Give me a fucking break. Like that. Like, there isn't. I genuinely do not believe, and the reason why I say this is because I don't think he's ever scored a goal that far out.
Yeah.
In the run of play. I don't think there's a single goalkeeper that plays in a top league in Europe. I'm talking like in the Dutch league. Yeah. In the Belgian top division that let that go in. No. That was fucking horrendous.
Yeah, like, that was bad. That was bad for me. All the other goals have been classic Messi goals, bro. Classic.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Jordi Alba cutback, the free kicks, like the pass across. Like, this has been classic Messi goals, and like, there's only so much you can take from it. I like the fact that, like, he came to MLS and he still has that competitive nature. He still has, like, and he's enjoying it. You know what I mean?
I think that's the part that people don't understand. Like, yes, he's a genius. Yes, yes,
People
he's
thought
a
he was
little bit
done.
lazy. Like
Yeah,
he's always got that term, right? He doesn't like defensively. He walks so much, right?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. But again, it's like the same thing as Ronaldo. Like if he wasn't that competitive, he never would have scored 91 goals in a year. He wouldn't have.
yeah,
He wouldn't have cared. He
yeah,
wouldn't have won this many Ballon d'Ors. He wouldn't have willed his team to the World Cup. Like
yeah.
there's so much part like, and that was even like Henri has the story. Thierry Henry has a
Yeah.
story about
He said that
if
he didn't get a foul call in
foul,
training.
okay, yeah, give me the
Picked it up
ball.
from the goalkeeper, said, "Give me the ball." Dribble, goal.
1-1.
Said, "Give me the ball again."
Like, and he talks about, he goes, no, like he's got to get past Xavi, Busquets, Puyol. Like
Yeah.
he's like, it's just one of those things. Like he is fucking ultra competitive, and he wasn't gonna go somewhere where he wasn't gonna be ultra competitive. You know what I mean? But
I think
it is really like the biggest difference. I don't think it's really the type of goals that he's scoring. Obviously, that one was poor. Even Martinez's first goal, Blake looks horrible on that one too.
Yeah.
It's not really the types of goals he's scoring. The thing that I'm finding like, oh, this is a step down, is the space in which he has to do it. Like the Jordi Alba cutback one, it looks almost
anybody
identical.
in their moms would have told you that was coming.
But at the same time, though, like, how many times did those two do that to Real Madrid with Ramos in the team? Like, they don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not faulting the defenders, but the difference when he cuts it back and how you're like, how does he have like a 15 diameter radius around him of space? Like when it was Real Madrid, it was like a 2. He was running onto something with guys all around, and with like this one was just like, oh my god, guys, how?
It's like practice.
Yeah, that's like it really. That's what it looks like right now. Where you're kind of looking at that level of it, of being like, you're now really starting to see. And this has always been kind of the difference, in at least in which I've visually seen it, right? When I watch MLS, it looks a lot like it's more or less units based, and the defenders aren't going to get beat by the attackers. We're 4v3. Midfield, it's 3v3, and we're all one. Well, now you have someone who's going to play up there and go, I'm going to come over here. Where now it's like you can't play this almost 11v11, like 1v1 11 times. It's now like, no, you now need to play as a unit 11 versus another 11, where you have Busquets, Messi, Alba, who are all ready for that and experienced in it, and are just decimating everyone with it because they know how to play. Like even Alba's run, oh my, like hit for his
goal.
No one picked that up. You could see him start to go. You're like, maybe that one, maybe stay with that one. Or defensively, you look at it and go, step.
But you're also thinking like, bro, there's 3 guys around Taylor. You think someone's gonna put in a tackle? All of them just kind of just watched him. So like at that point as a back line, you're like, yo, what the fuck? So you're like, yo, there's 3 guys around him. There's no way he puts in a perfect pass. Don't get me wrong. Damian Lowe kept it on side, and Jordi Alba made a crazy run. Don't get me wrong.
But
3 guys there, that ball should not have been that.
It shouldn't.
So you kind of get caught flat. You kind of get caught flat-footed.
That's the flip side, though. Like you look at that defending side of it too, where you're like, the defenders aren't nearly as good. They're not.
Yeah, but one thing that I have to take into consideration, fuck the salary cap issue. Like obviously that's the issue. Like all that stuff, that ain't an issue. All that logistic stuff is always gonna like hinder them less. But at the same time, we are talking about the greatest player of all time, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't care. Like I don't care what anyone says. It's like, bro, even if he was doing this with 2 yards of space in the World Cup and decimating a guy that Man City just bought for 90 mil, like, bro.
Oh, we forgot about him. Oh my god.
It's like, yo, who do you think you are in the MLS that this is gonna stop? Like, yo, we're talking about the best player to ever touch it. Like, yo, the man is gonna do what he wants. You can't do, and then you're talking about top 5 holding midfielders ever. Like those men are gonna do it. Like you have to, at some point, people need to stop blaming the MLS and be like, yo, the MLS is trash. Don't get me wrong. In the beginning, like the first name is Cruz Azul, Busquets was like, damn, I'm not getting pressured. Like, you know what I mean? Because MLS, usually they let the 6 play and they don't want to get beat by like the attackers. But like when you have someone like Busquets who can be a 6, 8, 10 in the MLS because he's that good, it's like, dog, you have to get pressure on him. So like then when you see him against Dallas,
can't do that either. Like,
but like then when you seen him against Dallas, he struggled a little bit. because like they were getting pressure on him. Dallas was hitting them on the counter. Like there's more active guys, younger active guys in the midfield where they're getting bodies on him. So that was the most challenging game Miami has had. But you're talking about guys that are the best of the best in their positions ever.
Yeah.
Like
No, like that,
that's what changes. If this was Carlos Vela doing it, I would be like, yo, MLS is not serious. But like Messi, I'm like, yo, I gotta let
Vela did that his first year.
He did that. Yeah.
Vela did that his
like,
first year, and you're like, Carlos Vela? The guy who couldn't.
And you're like, yo, MLS, like, I'm like, yo, MLS, I'm like, I just gotta let this shit slide. It's Messi, bro. I'm gonna try my best. Yeah.
I don't know that they're ever gonna win like the MLS Cup. I think if they get in, it's different. But when you look at it over the whole league, number one, it's only 3 players. Like and that was the thing against Dallas. You're like, it's only 3 of them. If you like, and it's almost like
Dallas folded. Dallas folded that game.
Well, fucking hell. Yeah. Farfan wanted to score a goal assisted by Messi, for God's sake.
Dog, a Drogba header Champions League final against Bayern Munich.
Oh my God. In his own, like, it wasn't even close to trying to clear it either. That was the worst part where I was like, yeah, that whole scripted narrative, that really counteracts that stupidity. But like,
I don't think Miami wins MLS Cup. I don't think they win MLS Cup, but like, yo,
I don't either.
Having them 3 gives them a dead good chance.
Oh yeah, and also this whole thing about salary cap, Messi's salary should never ever impact Inter Miami's salary cap ever. The guy's raking in so much fucking money for every other club now. It's absurd.
Bro, teams are making more money off of the one game away that Messi plays against them than you'll make the whole season.
It's ridiculous.
The average ticket sells like $40. A ticket price goes up to $400, and a team makes $10 million off of that one game. That's how much money a team will make all year, bro.
And it'd be smart for them to keep, like, again, I know the instant idea is like, we have to expand stadiums. No, if you want to make money,
keep it the same.
Keep it where it is. If not, reduce a little bit. Make it a more scarce thing. You know what I mean?
Toronto C has the biggest soccer-specific stadium, 31,000 in MLS.
Like, don't get me wrong, when he goes to Atlanta, it's gonna sell out and it's gonna be fucking 81,000, whatever. Like,
I don't think he plays on turf.
Yeah, he does. He will. They had to play on turf for a game or two when in the Champions League. Whenever they go to Russia, whenever they go to Ukraine during the winter, they all play on turf.
True.
A game here and there. Now, when you look at, say, a road trip to the Pacific Northwest, where you have Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, 3 fields. If you're playing all 3 of those in a short period of time, I can see Busquets, on the other hand, at his age, I can see him not. Messi's a fucking machine, though, man.
Yeah,
like
he's a machine.
The amount, like, his body is just he's a machine. So I don't think Messi's really missing any games.
Yeah,
but I can see like Busquets and Alba being like, yeah, no, we're not playing on turf. I can see those 2 not doing it.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, he's done a great job bringing the league. Shout out to David fucking Beckham, bro. That nigga, he's a nigga, bro. I give him that black card. That nigga is that guy, bro. He is a geyser, bro. He is a guy. And then all the superstars coming to watch them play too. That's just dope. Like, I know that them dudes don't know nothing about soccer, but just the fact that like they know that Messi's that guy, it just brings a smile to my face because like they're the best. Like LeBron James pulling up, he's the best in his sport, and he's like, nah, this guy right here is the best in his sport. That is the dominant, like the world dominant sport. You know what I mean?
He also owns a part of Liverpool. Like, he actually does know. He actually does know. Like, I think he understands the gravity of that situation.
Yeah, he understands the gravity of the situation. He's like, because if you're a superstar in your own right, you understand the gravity that you can pull. But like, he's pulling that type of gravity in North America. So he's like, yo, this dude is like worldwide, bro. Like, so it's a different ballgame. And I was thinking about even like Tom Brady owning Birmingham.
Yeah, all of them now, man. You've got JJ Watt's at Burnley.
Yeah.
Here is one. This is how I know this has gotten fucking absurd.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else owns a part of Burnley?
Who?
Dude Perfect.
Who the hell is that?
They're a YouTube channel.
Oh.
Of like 5 guys who do like, they play sports and they do like trick shots and all these different things. Like, they played Augusta during the Masters, but they had to like, the A shot was like a different thing. Like, obviously they like, none of them were, I don't think any of them were actual golf shots because they're not going to fuck up the course, but it was like, a softball. Like, they had to play holes like that. Like, those guys own a fucking piece of Burnley football.
Money,
club.
bro. You got money, expand your portfolio.
I can't believe they have that much money.
Yeah, YouTube,
Like,
bro. YouTube.
That is wild. That is wild to me.
YouTube be giving out checks, bro. Don't worry, that we're gonna
That
get
is
there.
wild to
YouTube
me. But yeah, now
be giving out
like
checks.
it's kind of funny though that we look at this. Like, again, I think like the biggest part of it was Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney
Mhm.
kind of started the trend. But again, the first person to kind of do it was LeBron. But that was also like with American owners. Like, this is now different where you have primarily foreign and British owners.
Yep.
And now you have them buying in, right? Like, this is really kind of a real first of its kind. Where you're like, again, Reynolds and McElhenney, what they've done at Wrexham has been
Unbelievable.
unbelievable.
And then bringing back what, Forster? Goalkeeper?
Yeah, Ben Foster's going back.
Ben Foster,
too, which is great for him.
Yeah.
Funny enough, too, he talked about playing in non-league, and he said there would be a lot of Premier League goalkeepers that would struggle at this level.
I don't doubt it.
Because he goes, every single ball pumped in is right on top of you, and you have both teams running into you, and you're not getting he's like, you're not getting calls like you would in the Prem. There's no VAR.
There's no protection.
And he goes, and it's relentless. It's not like it happens once. It is every fucking time. So he goes, it is a different type.
Bro, you know what transfer we forgot to talk about? We forgot to talk about Jude Bellingham scoring on his debut for Real Madrid.
Buddy, that another one, man. Like there, like I said, there's been so many.
That squad is set up for life.
By the way, do you see I don't think I sent you this, but Chouameni sent out a tweet where all I said was same but different, and it was a strike at training where Bellingham went to block it, and you can see the ball going through his legs, and right underneath it is his strike from the France-England game in the World Cup that he scored on.
Oh, see, that's
same but different. And
Bellingham
claps back going, I thought we weren't going to talk about this.
See, that's cool, bro.
That's jokes though.
That's dope. That's dope. All of them are around the same age, but that's a really young team. They're just missing a number 9, and that's about it. But back to MLS, our two guys, Sam Adekugbe and Richie Laryea, headed to Vancouver. Richie on a loan, 6 months loan to the end of the season. Sam is a permanent transfer, right?
Yes, sir.
That's permanent transfer, going back to his home club. Were you surprised by these moves?
No. I wasn't sure that Richie was going back. Just like, it's not like Forrest offloaded a ton of people from last year, which is now difficult when you're like, you now leave and they succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a tough one. So, I'm happy Richie was able to get out of that debacle. From a playing perspective, obviously there's the off the field stuff, which we've spoken about at length, but so that was good. And then Sam too. I mean,
tough year in Turkey.
Sam, yeah, it wasn't a super, and again, it was obviously disrupted by the earthquake.
Yeah,
devastated.
That's what I mean.
The club, and it was like everything was going so well right before that, and then it never seemed to quite reach that same level. You know what I mean? Obviously going to a completely new club though, at this, like, there's a lot of shit that goes involved with that, right? But I was slightly
a top club at that too.
I know.
I was Galatasaray or Galatasaray.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
I'm a little surprised that he came back to MLS, but I can also see it from he's been grafting and grinding over there for a while now, a long fucking time. Like, he was at Brighton when they got promoted. Like, he was at Brighton, then he was in Norway.
Norway.
Valerenga.
Yeah, Valerenga.
Yeah. So he was like, he's been grafting over there for a long time. And I think the thing that, again, selfishly from like the fan perspective for the national team, it's like, he finally broke through, man. Like, you can stick it out, like, Champions League football is like right there. You know what I mean? But again, I get it. You're like, man, I'm fucking exhausted. Yeah, I'm exhausted.
It's not obviously with that situation that happened, the earthquake and everything in general. Like, Turkey's not easy to live in. I mean, knowing from guys that play there, like, it's tough.
So it
I'm
might have
happy
just
that he's
shifted perspective too. Like he's like,
yeah, it might
fuck,
have.
I
Yeah,
just want
he's
to be
probably
close to
like, damn,
family.
like people lost families like that. I couldn't imagine like not seeing my family. Like if something happened to me, like so I can imagine him coming back to Vancouver is dope. I'm surprised that like no other MLS teams were in the fold for it, but maybe because of the international spot rule, kind of made things difficult.
Yeah.
Obviously Richie being one of my best friends, like I knew he was going to go to Vancouver, but I was also surprised that he went to Vancouver. No, there's no shot at Vancouver, obviously. I know Brendan's probably gonna see this, but no shot, no shot at Vancouver.
Especially because their coaching staff, especially the second assistant coach. Like, why would anyone want to go play for that guy?
Yo, that clip that we put up the other day, that shit was funny. Me seeing that, like telling me this team was playing like Stoke, that shit was funny because it's actually so true. But yeah, I was kind of surprised, but like he seems excited. I mean, you know what's crazy though? And I always tell Richie this, and this is like obviously it's gonna be clipped. I'm like, bro, everything that happens with you, why do people ask me? I'm not your PR, bro. I always tell the man, I'm like, dog, anything that happens, yo, is Richie staying at Nottingham? Is Richie, bro? I don't know. I talked to, bro, as much as we're best friends, bro. This last time I talked to him like 2 days ago. Before then, I didn't talk to that man for like 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, I'm in the same mold as you guys. And it's not because I don't know what's going on. It's because I'm like, dog, if all you have to talk about with your best friend is about soccer, then like, are you guys really friends? Like, dog, like dudes are not talking. Like I'm not thinking. I'm like, yo, you happy? All right, bet. Like we talking about other stuff. Like we're not even talking about soccer. If we talking about soccer, we talking about like Premier League stuff like that, like banter. Like this game is already a mental stress on our minds. I'm injured. I don't want to think about it. He knows. He's like, yo, I had to move from Nottingham to TFC, back to Nottingham, back to, you know what I mean? Back and forth, the World Cup, all this stuff. He's like, yo, like the last 3 years has been a roller coaster for him. I'm like, I can only imagine. And you have a wife and kid. Like, I'm one man, so it's easy for me to move around. So like when we talk, I'm like, yo, stop. I'm like, yo, next time someone asks me any questions about you, I'm like, yo, ask the man yourself. Ask the man. But in hindsight, yeah, the man's happy. After talking to him, he's happy. He's like, so it's definitely gonna be he's gonna have to adapt. Obviously living in Vancouver, a lot different than Toronto. Family's not gonna be there as much because it's only a 6-month loan. And apparently they play like all away games in September. So he's like, to make his family come move over there, and then he's gonna be gone for a whole month. He's like, and then the season doesn't, if you get to the MLS Cup final, it's gonna end beginning of December. So it's like, there's no point of them moving. So yeah, I mean, he's just gonna stick it out, see how far it goes, and then we'll see what happens then. But in general, yeah, good moves. You got 2 national team wingbacks starting, if like I'll say like fringe starters, I guess, if you don't play Tejan and Alfonso. So
yeah, I mean, they're
dope.
both kind of right there, right? They're kind of both in
Yeah.
that same predicament, depending on the system that the national team plays and depending on who they want to get on the park, right?
Mhm.
It's one of those. Like it's a massive get for the Whitecaps. Obviously, they're doing better. They're doing reasonably well right now, and now to grab those 2 looks promising, at least for them going through the rest of the season, and then potentially a little playoff push here.
Yeah. I was also going to say Kyle Larin go to Mallorca. That's another big move, staying in La Liga. Obviously, the numbers he put up with Valladolid were insane. And like Valladolid, as much as they probably would have liked to keep him, it's just a Segunda division, and they got offered money. It's good to see him back in a nice city. Mallorca's a really nice city in Spain. Yeah. So to see that is really dope.
It'll be cool now too, because again, he's now going to have expectation. So it's like, fuck yeah, Kyle, let's go. Again, he's someone else who like he's gotten to that level now, right? Where he's grafted over there for a while after leaving Orlando, and he stuck it out, and it's awesome to see. Like,
yeah, I remember when there was like rumors of him coming back to MLS. I was like, I hope he don't come back. So I'm happy to see that he's still doing his thing in Europe. Who else in MLS? Obviously, we talked about the Leagues Cup. What do you think about the in-season tournament?
I've found it like this. Like I haven't quite. I found it a little disruptive. Like I also haven't been. I'm like, oh, they're playing tonight. Cool.
Yeah,
It's
I
not a
haven't been.
league
I haven't
game.
been
Like
paying. I haven't really been paying
it's
attention to Messi. To be fair, the
it,
other
it
games,
I haven't found it that entertaining.
Mhm,
Like it's not like it's something that I'm like, oh, their Leagues Cup games tonight. Like
mhm,
honestly, couldn't care less. Like it'd be like, oh, like is there a game tonight? Oh my
mhm,
God, why don't we go watch? Like,
mhm.
you know what I mean? I can kind of see what they're trying to do, but again, this makes me somewhat nervous, I guess, for the Lamar Hunt Open Cup.
Mhm.
Because I feel like this is MLS's transition and go, we're out.
The Open Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And for that, they're like, oh, well, look at the games we had. Like
yeah.
we're playing as top teams now all the time and all this stuff. And you're like, that's not the fucking
That's not
point.
the
Like,
point.
not the
The
point.
point
You
of
guys
the
are trying to
Open
create
Cup.
culture. That's
Yeah,
like that's how
the
the
Open Cup
Open
is
Cup's
supposed
how
to
you
be
do
like
it.
the FA Cup or the Leagues Cup. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is the one thing I've taken away. For me, it feels like that's their transition away.
I think this because they're trying to extend the MLS. Like MLS and Mexico are trying to combine to do, like, you know what I mean? Everything's money driven, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like, I won't even lie, like, just like you, I haven't really cared. Like, I was watching Miami versus Philly yesterday. Once Miami went up 3-0, I turned it off. I love Messi. He's my favorite player of all time. But I'm like, nah, like, I don't need to watch this anymore. Like, it's
Yeah.
not, it's to a point where it's like, all right, man, like, our teams, even the Mexican teams are in their preseason. MLS teams are in mid-season form. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? I give a lot of credit to some of the Mexican teams that have gone this far, but it's kind of some money grab, smash and grab, and as entertaining as Messi and all that stuff, like him leading them to the final has been, everything else I haven't really been paying attention. So for me, it is what it is. But since we're talking about since we were talking about national team and everything, Toronto FC looking for a replacement head coach. Some of the names that have popped up: Mr. Forge FC, the Beard, Fear the Beard, Bobby Smirny Ortiz, and our national team head coach John Herdman. For me, when I heard John Herdman's name, I think it's kind of weird. They would have to really, 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 really convince him. But obviously, talking to someone else who was being looked at for the job, it would be really confusing if he gave up the national team job right before a World Cup on your home soil, and to be able to coach back-to-back World Cups for a team that's in turmoil, to be fair.
I think that's the thing that I could, again, like,
unless they throw stupid money at the man, like a Saudi Arabia, and like if they throw stupid money at the man, it's like, damn, all right.
that's the thing though, man. Like he kind of left the women's national team where you're like, oh my God, look at the heights. And he left, and then it was like a dip for a little bit. And now they've come back up. You know what I mean?
And
like,
then, yeah. And then
but now they've been at an all-time low. Like,
yeah.
But it's just kind of the timing for him to leave makes sense in the fact that he's now coming under serious question. Like serious question.
Question or pressure?
Both, but people are seriously questioning his coaching ability right now. Where they're like, everyone knows how you play. You haven't changed. And it's without the big guys, it doesn't work. Like, and again, it'd be hard for Spain to play that way take away their midfield. Are they going to win a World Cup? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a little bit of that stuff, but he's coming in a for me, TFC would be mental to me for them to sign him. I think there's a massive difference between being an international manager and a club manager.
Facts.
Like
the day in, day out grind is a lot different.
And I do think that, again, part of being a national team manager, there is a huge component of that, of building a culture for a national team. But also, like we've talked about before, a lot of that has to do with creating buy-in very shortly in a short amount of time to get them to buy into something for a tournament or for 2 weeks or for 3. Like, you know what I mean?
And
I think he's very good at that. And he's
as
very good at
players,
that.
as players ourselves, like we both know that like if a coach is saying something and he's like, "Yo, I'm giving you like 3 weeks," we can look at each other and be like, "Dog, it's only 3 weeks of our lives," and buy in that quick. Whereas like if it's a whole season, you have to see them at every day. And people are people. Like one day he might be upset, one day he might be a little happy. You know what I mean? Like you can keep the same mentality for 3 weeks straight a lot easier than it is to keep it for a whole season. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
So that's why
100%.
when people always say like, "Yo, what's harder to win, Champions League or Premier League?" or like, you know what I mean? Like the day in day out grind, like yo, you're
Premier
going
League.
through everyday things, but it doesn't take that much for you to get up for one game, 2 games. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like for
No,
him, maybe the
100%.
motivate. That's what. So and for what TFC is now, right now, I don't know if like as much as I want Bobby to get the job, it's
Do
still gonna be.
you?
It's gonna. I do
do
want him.
you
I
do
do
you
want.
want him to take
I
on
want
that
the
shit
reason.
show?
No,
Like I'm
the
not saying from a professional standpoint. I'm
no,
saying
no, no.
from the like
That's what I'm saying. The reason. That's what I was about to finish. As much as I do want him to get the job, I don't want him to take it only because of the turmoil that's going on. And knowing Bobby, and we spoke to him on this podcast, he himself is like a no-fly zone kind of like militant guy type of guy. So like people don't buy into him and what he wants. It's almost like, and I don't think he's ever had to deal with egos like that. Don't
not
get me
many
wrong,
people
bro.
have though, man. That's it. And no, no,
That's what I
no.
mean.
I completely agree with you. Like,
TFC, those guys have the biggest payroll and have the biggest egos. So it's kind of like, unless they do a lot of scraping from the roster, and if they give him that leniency to do, then fam, because like there's nothing left for him to do at Forge. He just signed a new 3-year deal, yes, but like at the same time, bro, if you can get TFC, you still living at home. Like you don't have to leave his family, don't have to leave anywhere. You just get a bigger paycheck. But then the job security is
there's
not the job security is not as much.
oh,
That's
I
the
mean,
only
the job
thing.
security is nil compared to what he has
Yeah,
now. Number one.
that's what I
Number
mean.
two,
So it's like,
but
yo, do you want job security?
from the
But there's
professional
nothing
standpoint,
left for
though,
him to
it's
do
a
at
step up.
Forge.
Exactly. So I mean,
It
the
is.
professional challenge to go do it, but now all of a sudden, and again, this is the difference. Like you've got Kyle Becker, who you coached.
Yeah.
You're now dealing with Bernadeschi and Insigne.
Oh. Do you bring and
They're
then
like,
do you bring guys? And the question is like, do you bring some of your own guys from Forge? Like, how does that work? Are they gonna allow that to happen? You know what I mean? It's like,
who do you bring? Who fits
oh,
in?
I already know. If you're gonna play a certain system, bro, he will definitely bring Bex. Unless Bex is like, yo, I don't want to step foot in that locker room again because he had a terrible experience. Then like, I understand that.
I mean, to be fair, they're not great
bro,
in center of the park.
I think he brings David Chaunier, who's been hooping.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the only man that's like certified that he brings. I think he brings.
You don't think he doesn't bring?
I think he probably brings back Daniel Crutzen.
Maybe. What about
and who also has a Canadian
Methuselah?
residency?
What about Methuselah, center back? Gavin's young.
He's young. I mean, he's turning 24. So like the roster rules in the MLS, you have to pay him a certain. And like obviously, some guys are already signed, so you can't like unless.
There's also that. There's also that you have a roster.
That's what I mean.
Contracts.
So it's like, so it's so much that goes into it, but like we've been talking about like the Montreal job, like him being up for that. Like this one is because I don't think Herdman takes it all because of the back of like if Canada performs well in this extended World Cup, he's gonna get better offers than to coach in MLS. So like I don't know why he would give up playing back-to-back World Cups, coaching back-to-back World Cups if he lasts that long. Like you know what I mean? Like unless something happens crazily, but I think he will. There's no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
so,
it's a weird one, but
because they don't have anybody else. They don't have any other people that they're looking at.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think it's I don't think that they hire anyone till next year anyway.
Yeah, 100%. They're gonna go through the whole season. They're gonna vet it out. Yeah. They're probably gonna cut out some contracts. Like,
Oh, at
yeah,
the same time, if you're interviewing for the job, you're going, waiting about this player, this player, this player. How quick can we get rid of them? Not so okay, well, because like
yeah,
you almost risk losing the rest of the team throughout
yeah,
throughout the season before you even start. Like that's the other side where it's like the timing of it fucking brutal, really brutal. It's only a couple months left.
mm-hmm. But we all knew Terry Dunfield wasn't going to be. I don't even think,
He
and
might
I
be
also think I don't even think he don't even want to be there.
he
He
might
got
be
so
actually
comfortable.
damaging his potential of ever managing a professional team.
Like, I don't even think he
Like
wants to manage. I don't even think he wants to manage, but he got so comfortable in like the pundit box and stuff like that. It's like, damn.
yeah, but he's been doing youth stuff with them. He's been coaching this whole time.
Okay.
He's been taking the 19. Yeah. He's been coaching in the club. Like they didn't just hire him off the street. Like he's properly been coaching in the club. Like they just hired him from within, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, if you ever did want to, an extended version of what's going on ain't helping you.
I think you just need a clean slate. You need someone new with a proper system that you've seen, like his system flourish. Like, yeah, Bobby would be that guy. Like I said, I would love for him to be the coach. It's just like certain things would have to happen in order for him to have the best opportunity to be successful. That's about
definitely.
it. Yeah.
Oh, one other big signing that we have to make note of. One of the guests of the show, Olivia Smith, officially announced that it was Sporting that she signed for.
Lisboa.
I did know.
I did know too, yeah.
And I really would have loved to break it on here, but obviously we know that they're going to go through the proper process there, which is
we definitely got to get her back on for
definitely
sure.
Ask her about World Cup too, like what it was like being there and the training environment and all that.
When she got told when she was going to the World Cup.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Smiths shed some more tears.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So that's dope.
So that's awesome. Super excited for her.
Yeah. And for our final breakdown, this one is the one I'm gonna let you have it because you are the ride or die Man United Red Devil himself. Mason Greenwood reinstated into the Manchester United squad.
Well, not official yet, but they've said that it looks like he will be.
It looks like he will be. How do you feel about that? For those that don't know, Mason Greenwood was arrested, and was he tried? Did he end up going to the court? No,
it never got there. She dropped all the charges. So, obviously, I think everyone's seen the social media posts where her face was bloodied, bruised on her arms. There's the audio, which sounds like sexual assault. I personally look at it and I am torn in the sense of what I believe the club should do. And the reason I say that isn't because what he did was ridiculous and absolutely uncalled for. And if the club within their values sit there and say, we do not want someone who does this at our club, then you cut ties with them. It's pretty basic and pretty simple. That's black and white. The side where I look at it from the other club where they look at it and go, it's someone we've invested a lot of time and money, not even money, a lot of time into as a human being, being that he's been an academy kid, been with the club the whole time. And you're looking to give that kid a chance to redeem himself. And why shouldn't Man United do that for this kid? So from that perspective, I'm somewhat torn. If I had to choose what would happen, he wouldn't be at the club. For me and the values that I see within the club.
Yeah. And he hold as a person, bro.
And as a person, right? Like, and I know people are going to say you're different. At the same time, do I believe the kid deserves a second chance within professional football? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because I don't think any of us can sit here and look back at our lowest moments and go, I wish I was solely judged on this one thing. I think it's how you react to being given a chance after that. That says more about you as a person. But for me, with what he's done, I don't believe he should be back in the club. And those are based on my values and based on the values that I believe the club has. But even beyond that, the one thing that I'll say about this whole conversation that bothers me the most is the people who've co-opted language. And we've seen this in North American sports now too. We've seen it in hockey with the different jerseys that they wear for warm-ups and stuff, right? We've seen it in MLS too, with Kendall Waston refusing to wear a Pride jersey or a Pride captain's armband and stuff like this, right? And I think there needs to be something where, again, do we hold values as a society or do we not? Because to sit there and say I stand for, I want to be inclusive and I believe everyone should be involved in all this stuff, but that's not okay. You just contradicted yourself. That's like, you fucking contradict yourself. Are we inclusive or are we not? Because to sit here and say we have values and we want to be progressive, but we want everyone to be able to live a safe life, then you get rid of murderers. You're getting rid of anyone that causes physical, like, you are excluding people from that fucking environment. Like, what you're doing is exclusive. It doesn't mean it's not progressive. And I think that's where we need to come to a standpoint, for me, and this is way off topic for what this podcast normally is, but from a societal standpoint, we need to actually stop with this fucking language and actually go back to what language means. Because to sit here and say that we want to be a progressive society that's inclusive, then get rid of fucking jails. Get rid of them. How safe we all going to feel? I bet a lot less safe. So from that standpoint, it's like, what are the club's values? Are they inclusive or are they not? If they're inclusive, bring them back in the fucking change room. We're inclusive. We're including everyone. We include a bunch of racist people too, because we're inclusive. We're including everyone. We're not you know what I mean? Like, the idea is that if you hold values and what you want to do is be progressive and have teachable moments and help everyone learn, you literally have to be exclusive, because even what you're learning and the mistakes you're making mean that you now can't do that anymore. That act or that word, like the action or whatever, is no longer acceptable. So that's the one thing that it's really bothered me about reading everything, is reading all these people who get on their fucking high horse and fucking say, oh, I thought this club stood for inclusion. And you're like, you don't want them to bring him in. Do you want them to exclude him from the environment?
And to be fair, if they exclude it from the environment, then it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like, yo, your values is not the same thing as inclusivity. Like, what you believe in and everything, it's gonna exclude a lot of people. Like, what I believe in is not gonna include a lot of people. Like, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I'm talking to people that I don't like or I'm not a fan of. Like, that's exclusion. So it's like, yo, my life, I'm excluding certain people. And it's whatever is for the betterment of your life and what you believe in. So, man, you believe that, yo, you believe in second chances for someone that, like, you invested a lot of time to and stuff like that, then it's fine. But you can exclude and include dependent on what you want to do. It can't just be all inclusivity and all exclusivity. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, you pick and choose what you want to let slide in life, what you want into your locker room, what you want in your life, what you want around you. And that's what everyone does. So I don't know why, like, and obviously it's not the pod for it, but like, even when it comes to like politics and stuff like that, it's like, bro, like, what happened to just the person? Like, instead of like what their label is, what happened to the actual person? You know what I mean? So I understand where you're coming from, and people are holding these words, like all these big like trigger words, all that stuff. It's like, oh, like, yeah, Kendall
fucking gaslighting, man. They're fucking gaslighting people for no reason.
Wear the pride shirts or whatever. It's like, yo, that's what he believes in. That's what he believes in. If you want people to believe in what you believe in, but like, you're pushing what you want us to believe in. But if I don't believe in it, that doesn't make me a bad person. Just like what you believe in doesn't make you a bad person. It just means we don't agree. And that's all it goes on. Like, we can still be a good person, but we don't have to agree on things, on a certain thing.
Exactly.
So it is what it is. Manu's gonna make their decision, and people are gonna, if he starts hooping, people are gonna let it slide. So,
well, that's the thing, right? Is like, it's all of a sudden like that, like that's where that question comes in, right? Like, they reinstate him and he starts scoring goals. Everyone's gonna say, all is forgiven. Well, no, like, this kid has a fuck ton of things, and that's it's not even about forgiving him for what he did. It's like giving him an opportunity to redeem himself as a fucking person.
Opportunity to move on with life, bro. Like,
yeah,
shit happens. Like you got to give people a chance to fucking live their life and try to correct things that they've done. Like that's always going to be a stain on his portfolio, his life portfolio. But at the same time, like if he goes on and does, it's always going to be a blemish on his life. But if he goes on and does fucking great, wonderful things, like, bro, no one has a perfect life. Like I'm not saying what he did is, no one's saying what he did is right, and that's what people think that we're like guys are saying. That's not what guys are saying. Just because we're gonna say it doesn't mean what he did is right. It means that like we are deciding to include him to see if he can become a better human.
Yeah, and it's the idea. Like, don't get me wrong, mistakes aren't all the same.
No,
they're not. Mistakes aren't all the same.
Bro, a man scoring an own goal compared to a man fucking up a pass is a whole different mistake, bro. Like,
but it's just like, man, like you, and maybe it's being an optimist, but you want to believe that everyone can reform, I guess, right? Like we try and let murderers reform.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
prayers to everyone involved, bro.
Yeah, it's not a good situation at all, to be honest with you. But it's where we're at, and like I said, I personally, I would say based on the club values and everything, I wouldn't bring him back. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I wouldn't either. But I mean, that's because like that's just my values. If I was the owner, I'd be like, yeah, sorry, dude. But it doesn't mean you don't deserve it, but you're just not playing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. But on that note, sorry to end off with such a melancholic topic. I mean, prayers to everyone involved. A lot has been going on this summer. To end off with some good news, I started sprinting again. Started running and sprinting again. So
let's go.
Back in business, little by little. I'm gonna start doing like some more sprint intervals and just get shit back in order. And yeah, man, it's kind of nice being back in routine, waking up, going to the reporting time, team meetings, like doing the warm up with the guys, passing drills. I can't fully train, but like the passing drills and I do my running on the side, like I don't have to go to fucking PT, then drive all that to the facility, and then go to the gym, and then you know what I mean. I'm not doing shit by myself now.
Yeah.
Like now I feel like
that's
I'm part
massive.
of a whole team environment, so that's massive as well. And yeah, man. I mean, this is episode 23. Premier League starting.
Very quickly, top 4 Prem.
Top 4. City, Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool. In that order.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough because I want to say the same thing.
I think Newcastle was just a Cinderella story last year. They're gonna play a lot more games this year.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, they might get burnt out.
The only change on it, so I'm gonna do City, Arsenal, United, and the only change I will make is I think I'm gonna go Chelsea. No Europe. They have nothing besides the Prem.
Oh yeah, that is true. But they also got no goal. They also got no goals.
No goals up top.
Yeah. None. Well, they're gonna win every game 1-0. I mean, it's still a win, but like, damn.
Yeah, I know. It's bold, but
Liverpool has Europa, but their team has enough depth where they can handle that.
I don't think they do not have enough depth. No chance.
But
especially in midfield.
Yeah, in midfield they don't. I don't know what happened, but damn, Chelsea, Liverpool, that's a good. I think Chelsea gets like 5th. I don't know. I think like it's like Liverpool, Chelsea, like that's a good one. I think the top 3 are like solidified. I think Arsenal and Man U could change depending on how Eric Ten Hag's like
depends what Onana decides to do. Depends what Onana decides to do in the box. If he's gonna run and tackle more people.
It depends on how the system works out. Because Onana will win you some games because he's a really good goalkeeper. But bro, City's just different, bro. They got Kovacic to replace Gundogan. It's like dog. De Bruyne is done for a while. From Leipzig, the center back from Croatia. It's like dog. You didn't even need him.
Like, De Bruyne is done for a while though.
Yeah, 3 to 4 months apparently.
Yeah.
A lot of it's a lot, bro. I think from that injury that he had in his Champions League final, it's just probably tweaked up again. It's unfortunate, but yeah. I mean, I think we're on the same page right now. We didn't talk about the CPL, but that could come on the next episode. This has been the Jordan episode / LeBron James episode 23, Top Bin Talks, presented by FTF Canada. I'm one of your hosts, Kwame Ua, with my co-host, Adam Jones. And thank you guys for listening, man. Enjoyed it.